Kaguma is smarter than the average bear. I am Chris with the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom, April 17th, 2022, available on Stardom World. The Cinderella tournament continues as the remaining second round and quarterfinal matches take place. This was a great packed show with 10 matches, so let's get to it. This was a multi-camera show with no commentary. The opening match on the card was a singles match between Tekla and Lady C. This was a good opening match, and I was surprised by how much Lady C was given. Tekla is the current SWA champion, and did have trouble a couple times in the match. Tekla was in control of the match for the majority, but there were a few instances where Lady C was able to reverse Tekla and gain control. Lady C was able to get Tekla in a giant swing after she caught a kick by Tekla on the apron and dragged Tekla into the ring, who really didn't want to be swung. Lady C also did use her long legs to good effect with some boots, but Tekla's technique is better than Lady C's, and she was able to get Lady C trapped with a leg lock clutch bridging pin for the pinfall victory. The second match on the card was a fun and fast trios match between Stars and Cosmic Angels. For Stars, we had Hanan, Hazuki, and Momo Kogo versus the Cosmic Angels team of Tam Nakano, Waka Tsukiyama, and Mina Shirakawa. Cosmic Angels did their dance like normal, and Waka's still bad at it. Momo Kogo and Mina Shirakawa started for their teams, and they had a pretty good chemistry with each other in ring and their interactions. There was a fun triple team submission spot by Cosmic Angels this portion of the match, where each member of Stars was in a different submission from Cosmic Angels members. Although this match was not long, they did get a lot into the match, and the crowd was really into it. Everyone got a spot to shine. The back portion of the match saw Waka Tsukiyama against Suzuki. Cosmic Angels did run into the ring a few times to help Waka, but Stars would clear the ring pretty quickly and to let Hazuki fight Waka alone. Waka Tsukiyama did put up a fight, even kicked out of a top corner senton, but Hazuki put Waka away with the Hazuki driver for the pinfall victory. A big faction versus faction match was next, Odatai versus Queen's Quest. For Odatai we had Starlight Kid, Waka, Momomo Watanabe, Rina, and Fukigen Death. For Queen's Quest we had Utami Hayashishita, Sayaka Matani, Miyu Amasaki, Azumi, and the newly returned Hina. This match was pretty chaotic as would be expected. Lots of run-ins to break pins, double, triple, quadruple, and quintuple T moves, and surprisingly no weapons. This match started right away with Odatai jumping Queen's Quest before the bell. The ring cleared, leaving only the most experienced member of the roster against the least experienced, Fukigen Death and Miyu Amasaki. Fukigen Death went for her smoking spot pretty early, and Miyu Amasaki shot the cigarette out of her hand. That is kind of Miyu Amasaki's thing, posing with finger guns. Then Odatai ran and started beating up Miyu Amasaki before doing the Odatai pose in the ropes. Miyu Amasaki was finally able to make it to her corner after jumping DDT, and Izumi came in. The rest of the match continued on with about the same amount of chaos, people getting tagged in, hitting some moves, getting ganged up on, then tagging out. The end of the match saw the sisters against each other, Rina and Hina. Rina was getting the better of her sister until Queen's Quest came in and hit synchronized drop kicks, and Miyu Amasaki hit her special arm hook jumping DDT with the splits. Hina put her sister away with the power body buster for the pinfall victory. After the match, Queen's Quest announced next month they will have a general election for the leader of Queen's Quest. Momo Watanabe was the previous leader, but defected last year, so there has not been an official leader. It sounds like there will be a fan vote, but I don't know how it will happen, if it's online or only the fans in the venue will vote. The fourth match on the card was a Cinderella tournament match between Sai Ida and Mei Sakurai. This was a quick but fine match, a battle between Sai Ida's lariats and Mei Sakurai's boots. Mei Sakurai got control with a dropkick initially, and tried to end the match pretty quickly with a second rope elbow drop, but Sai Ida kicked out. And there was a nice section where Sai Ida was chopping Mei Sakurai, and Mei Sakurai was responding with kicks to Ida's face. They went back and forth for a bit until Mei Sakurai made her way to the top corner. Mai Ida slapped Mei Sakurai, then tossed her in the ring, hit her with some lariats, then hit a devastating looking Ida rock on Mei Sakurai for a pinfall victory. The next match was another Cinderella tournament match, this time between Natsupoy and Unagi Sayaka. This was a really fun match. Before the match, there was a video showing last year when Natsupoy Unagi met in the 5-star GP, and there was a big rubber band used by Unagi in the match, and it flicked back and hit Natsupoy and the ref. That rubber band would make a comeback, or I should say 4 rubber bands would make a comeback. Before the match started, the ref confiscated 2 rubber bands off Unagi Sayaka. Then, when Unagi and Natsupoy shook hands, Natsupoy found another one. Natsupoy pulled on the elastic and it snapped back on the ref who tried to grab it and Unagi Sayaka. The match then started, and Unagi Sayaka came out of the gate with a facebuster and 2 leg drops, but Natsupoy kicked out. Natsupoy got pushed over the top rope onto the apron pretty quickly after that, and almost fell to the floor when dodging Unagi's attempts to push her off the apron. They battled for a bit on the apron, and Natsupoy grabbed another elastic that was on Unagi's body. This time it flicked back and hit Natsupoy, and she almost falls to the floor, but makes her way back in the ring. Back in the ring, they trade hard-hitting moves until Natsupoy hit Unagi Sayaka with a suplex, followed by a thrust kick, followed by another suplex. This time Natsupoy's signature fairy train suplex for the pinfall victory. Unagi's convoluted plan did not work. A fun Cinderella tournament match was followed by another one, this one between Kaguma and Julia. It has been said before, but Kaguma is smarter than your average bear. To start, Kaguma tried to get Julia to do the Kuma pose, and she almost did, before Julia kicked her. Kaguma immediately ran out of the ring, but under the bottom rope so she was not eliminated, and baited Julia to follow her, and she did before Kaguma ran back into the ring. Kaguma had a strategy in this match, win via over-the-top elimination. Kaguma didn't think she could beat Julia in a straight-up fight, so almost everything she did was to try to get Julia over the top rope. Kaguma tried to low bridge Julia. It didn't work. She tried just sitting on the rope and asking Julia to trade strikes, and this kinda worked, but Julia was able to get back to the ring after falling to the apron. It didn't look like Kaguma's plan was going to work, and Julia applied an octopus hold on Kaguma. Kaguma powered up and climbed the ropes with Julia still on her back, still keeping the submission applied, then dumped Julia on the apron. Kaguma kicked her off the apron, and Julia's feet hit the floor. Kaguma wins via over-the-top elimination and advances in the Cinderella tournament. Kaguma is the smartest wrestler in Stardom. But Saki Kashima may be the second smartest wrestler in Stardom. Saki Kashima versus the icon of Stardom, Mayu Iwatani, was the next Cinderella tournament match. Mayu Iwatani came to the ring wearing her big fight robe and costume, mask included, even had 2 tails on her ring gear. Saki Kashima, meanwhile, came to the ring normally with a hoodie tied around her waist with Odatai behind her, but she did dye her hair magenta. Before the bell, Saki Kashima asked to shake hands, and Mayu Iwatani didn't want to initially. Odatai on the outside, and the crowd was cheering, wanting them to shake hands, so she did finally, but pulled in Saki Kashima for a suplex, then the bell rang. Saki Kashima Kishikaise attempt, kick out. Kishikaise attempt 2, reversed. Kishikaise attempt 3, pinfall victory. Saki Kashima wins via pinfall in 17 seconds to advance in the Cinderella tournament. Second smartest wrestler in Stardom. The 8th match on the card was a tag match with a small preview of the upcoming World of Stardom Red Belt title match between Shuri and Himika on April 29th. Shuri with new roster member Ami Sarai versus a team of Himika and Mika. Shuri with her new powerhouse against a team of her old powerhouse stablemates. This match was a pretty conventional match with a lot of power moves as would be expected with the participants. There were shoulder tackles, lariats, torture racks, fireman carry slams, forearm exchanges, and kicks, with a healthy dose of submission holds also. Neither team really had the advantage for long in the match before a powerhouse move from one team swapped the advantage. Ami Sarai did look good in this match. She even added a couple more moves and looked smoother in the ring. The announcer was counting down the time, while Shuri got Himika in position for a draping DDT, but time expired as Shuri went for the pin. Time limit draw. There was a surprise though after the bell. Shuri got on the mic to announce a new God's Eye member. Then a video played of Konami, who had left Stardom in the end of last year, and she was joining God's Eye during Golden Week, which is the first week of May. The way it was worded made it sound like Konami would be working on a part-time schedule, so I would not expect her to be a regular on the weekly shows. Starlight Kid made her way to the ring to accuse Shuri of poaching Konami from Odatai, which Shuri denies because Konami wanted to join her. There is going to be a special Odatai vs. God's Eye match on May 7th. That is now 2 members from other factions who had defected to join Shuri, Mirai from Donald Del Mondo and Konami for Odatai. I wonder if God's Eye will keep growing, and if it does, who will be next? Saida from Stars? Hina from Queen's Quest? Wakusukiyama from Cosmic Angels? Guess we will have to wait. Next was a Cinderella tournament quarterfinals match between stablemates, Kaguma and Saida. This match was quick and enjoyable. Kaguma offered to shake hands to start the match. Saida agreed, and then Kaguma tried to roll her up, but it didn't work. Saida started lighting up Kaguma with chops to the chest. Kaguma tried multiple times to block the chops, but they did get through and made her chest red. The first offense Kaguma hit in the match was a DDT, followed by a suplex, which Saida responded to with a suplex of her own. After a power bomb by Sayaka, Kaguma, though, was able to get Sayaka trapped with the Kuma roll and got the pinfall victory. That DDT and suplex by Kaguma were the only offensive moves in the match that Kaguma was able to land. And she still won, smartest wrestler in Stardom. That brings us to the main event. Another Cinderella Tournament quarterfinals match, this time between Mirai and Saki Kashima. These two wrestlers are very different in their fighting styles and attitudes. Mirai wears her earnestness and fighting spirit on her sleeve, using strength and technique to win with honor and pride. Saki Kashima almost seems indifferent to fighting, and while she is a good wrestler, seems to take more enjoyment by winning a match via easy wins as opposed to winning via struggle and perseverance. Saki Kashima came into the fight with a plan, and extended her hand for a handshake. Mirai was cautious and carefully shook her hand, but that was not the trick. The bell rang, then Saki Kashima immediately raked Mirai across the eyes, then ran to the other side of the ring and low-bridged the charging Mirai onto the apron. Odatai was waiting and started trying to pull Mirai to the floor before Shuri and Emisore came and chased them off, and Mirai got back in the ring. Saki Kashima's plan did not work. After this, both wrestlers went out and had a good match. Mirai was hitting Saki Kashima with lariats when possible, while Saki used her kicks to try and stop Mirai. It looked like Saki Kashima would have another chance when Mirai was caught on the top corner, but couldn't get Mirai to fall to the apron, so instead hit a top rope Frankensteiner back into the ring. Saki Kashima was running out of time and energy, so went back to what got her this far in the tournament, the Kishikaise pin, but Mirai was waiting for it and blocked it. After that, it was game over. Mirai got the Miramare submission locked onto Saki Kashima, and she submitted. Mirai moves on to the semifinals. I would also like to note that although it took a few months, Mirai got her special clap over, so much so that she had to ask the audience to stop while she closed the show. The remaining participants in the Cinderella tournament are Mirai, Natsupoy, Kaguma, and Hazuki. The semifinals and finals will take place on the same day, April 29th, which is Stardom's next big pay-per-view event. I would recommend the whole card, but if you need to save some time, you could probably skip the matches 1, 2, and 4. The next Stardom show is on the 23rd and will be headlined by an Artist of Stardom Trios title match between current champs Himika, Himika, and Natsupoy versus the Cosmic Angels team of Tam Nakano, Unagi Sayaka, and Mina Shirakawa. This has been the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom April 27th, 2022. Thanks for listening.